Happy Friday Eve, everyone. Welcome to the July 11th, 2024 edition of CP Sports. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and today we're being joined by Mike.
What's going on? Glad to be back.
So we missed you last week.
I missed me too, man.
So I know you heard last week Chris Paul signed with the Spurs, and he had his introductory news conference just recently. Paul was given offers that would keep him close to home, but he said if he's not playing, he's not happy. And Paul reiterated, stating, quote, "I love my family to death. So when we saw this opportunity, even though it'll put me away from my family knows me better than anybody, and they know that I just want to play. I want to play more than anything, and that's why I'm grateful for them and more so grateful to be here," end quote.
Hey, well, personally, I like it. The Spurs, they needed an actual point guard for Wemby to play alongside with.
Yes.
It was just terrible watching them play last season when Wemby would be like completely open for lobs, cuts, pick and roll situations. They wouldn't ever give. Well,
I don't know if you caught Castle in the games recently. The what are they called? The California Classics.
Yeah. Summer League.
He was looking pretty decent. He dropped I think it was like 18 points, but he did miss a lot of shots from the perimeter, as we talked about recently, but he's going to be soaking up the knowledge from CP3 anyway.
Yeah, even though Chris Paul is well beyond his prime, he wants to start. Like you said, he wants to play. He's not coming off the bench. He's willing to take the reins and control this offense, help the team, refine themselves into true contenders for the near future. So, he's a vet, no doubt. He's definitely going to help the team get to the next level. Harrison Barnes, I guess, is a good addition. I guess I don't think he's hurting the team unless he plays like he did when the Cavs came back 3-1. Then we'll see.
Well, he had a decent season last season. It wasn't too bad, but we are grateful to have CP3 here as well. To elevate this team. He has elevated every team he's played for so far, and Paul expressed his excitement to play for Pop and with Victor Wembanyama. He also recalled his plane ride with Harrison Barnes, who you talked about, who the Spurs acquired from the Kings in a three-way trade that saw former Spur DeMar DeRozan go to Sacramento from Chicago. Well, during their flight, both men talked about how they couldn't wait to play with Wemby and watch him grow on a day-to-day basis. And I got to say, we're probably also excited to see the big man grow as a player. And I'm pumped to see where the team grows as a whole, adding a few vets after being the youngest team in the NBA last season. I've been saying, they're going to soak up so much knowledge from Paul. But Paul is also looking forward to what the young players could teach him as well. He said in the same presser, quote, "I got a chance to play with Shai in his second year in the league. And I got a chance to learn from him. I got a chance to learn from Booker, Bridges, and all those guys. So I'm excited to share with these guys what I know and whatever they want to know. But I'm also excited to see what I can learn from them," end quote.
Definitely. I see the Spurs, maybe making the playoffs, at least the play-in this year.
I second that.
Yeah.
But another Spur, our former Spur, was also traded after his two best seasons with the Hawks. DeJounte Murray is now Louisiana bound for the second time in 3 years. You would think that it would get to somebody, especially after excelling in those last 3 seasons. But Murray isn't too upset. He took it on the chin. He was excited about the transaction, saying, quote, "I understand my role. I'm a basketball player. I'm not a GM. I want to continue to grow as a man and further as a basketball player. I fit in perfect, and I think this is going to be a smooth transition," end quote.
Yeah, Murray, he should have went back to the Spurs, man. I don't know what happened with this guy. And I think, that when he went to the Hawks, it was a good attempt at making something happen.
Yeah.
But the Hawks, they needed more help. They didn't get it for him. Now he's in New Orleans. He has a great set of guys. McCollum, Ingram, Zion. That's if they're healthy, though. I think, that lineup is actually a good one. I think the Pelicans had a chance to make an impact last postseason. But since Zion got hurt, it was sad to see them lose their contention. If they're healthy, they can make some noise this time around.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to make a deep run. And Murray, of course, is excited to play with Zion. He said in that same presser, he said, quote, "That's our superstar, and I'm excited to push him. I told him I'm going to push him. If I see something I think he could do better at, if he sees something to me, or vice versa, we're going to be open to that. I'm excited to push him to the next level because there are a bunch of levels he can reach," end quote. So Murray, of course, looks to help the Pelicans get over that hump and push them to a higher level.
I'm looking forward to see what's happening. Anything other than the Celtics is good in my book. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess since you bring up the Celtics, and we do kind of got a theme going on here as we get into our next topic, Clippers forward Kawhi Leonard will not take part in the Paris Olympics, and Team USA will be replacing him with other former Spur, Derek White. I don't know why I said Henry.
He was running over everybody in that court.
Hell yeah! Be stiff arming everybody.
No one saw that.
Boom!
You were free agent. Y'all missed it.
But of course, I meant Derek White, and as we all know, Leonard has been rehabbing his knee for the past 2 months, and was I think he missed like 12 of his last 14 games last season. And although he saw a turnaround in the last 2 weeks, Team USA officials opted to have Kawhi continue his rehabilitation. And USA Basketball said, quote, "Kawhi has been ramping up for the Olympics over the past several weeks and had a few strong practices in Vegas. He felt ready to compete. However, he respects that USA Basketball and the Clippers determined it's in his best interest to spend the remainder of the summer preparing for the upcoming season rather than participating in the Olympic Games in Paris," end quote.
Dude, come on. 2 months? More like 2 years. What's going on, dude? Like, I don't even know why we're talking about Kawhi. Like, we need to be focusing on the young guns like Ant, Halliburton.
Hey, this was supposed to be his first Olympic Games, and now he's not going to be able to be in it, but this is going to be Derek White's first now.
Like, Kawhi's hurt, yeah. I feel like this is a broken record at this point. His middle name is Kawhi is hurt Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is synonymous with injury-riddled. Kawhi won a ring in Toronto and doesn't care anymore. Kawhi just needs to retire. He's wasting a spot on any roster he joins and wasted valuable time with the last chance to get a ring in, like maybe James Harden, Paul George, Russell Westbrook. He just wasted everyone's time, and he's gonna keep wasting people's time. And I'm thankful for what he did in San Antonio, but that was like 10 years ago. So
harsh.
That's it.
Well, KD is also out. Well, he's not completely out, but he'll be out for training camp with a calf injury, which he sustained working out 10 days before camp. Durant said he feels better, but he wasn't a part of yesterday's exhibition game against Team Canada. Canada beat Team USA in the bronze medal game of the FIBA World Cup last year, and KD hopes to be back on the court for the Abu Dhabi portion of the exhibition schedule. That includes Australia on the 15th and Serbia on the 17th.
I mean, I guess this is what KD's doing now. He just, he doesn't want to worry about the NBA season because, he's not going to get anything done in the NBA season. He just needs to join Spurs. He's already at that time to join Spurs. I don't know, do something crazy. Obviously, the Suns are not working out for them. The front office sucks.
Everybody come join the Spurs.
I knew the Suns sucked, the moment they fired Monty Williams. That was terrible. And then they traded for Beal, the guy that played like one game in the last 3 years. Like, KD's got to get out of this before it's too late. USA.
USA, USA, USA.
That's like, but you know, they don't need KD. They don't need KD.
They don't need KD. Well, speaking of injuries, Dak Prescott was seen sporting a walking boot on his right leg while on vacation in Cabo. When asked about it at a youth football camp Dak was hosting, he said, quote, honestly, I'm getting older. It's the same ankle I snapped, and I had a nasty surgery on 4 years ago. So a couple of hard days of training, and, you know, you get a little sore, and you're going on a fishing trip, and you want to protect it and make sure things don't get worse, end quote. So apparently the boot is just precautionary.
You know, he's walking in a damn boot, but, you know, guess what? He's doing dance moves at a wedding at the same time. So, you know what? You know, all my concerns have been dissolved because of that. You know, this season will be the season to win it all, right? He's in a boot. He's doing dance moves in a boot. Ankle sprain is a thing of the past. We can now focus on free agency and get some big names now, right? No? Oh, we missed that, right? I guess the only thing all this better is that we beat the Texans this season. That's about
that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Just wait till November. And I guess since you brought up the Texans, as many know, Hurricane Beryl made landfall in Texas Monday that left millions in Texas without power and caused multiple deaths across Texas and Louisiana. The Texans NRG Stadium lost multiple panels from its retractable roof during the storm, much like it did in 2008 from Hurricane Ike. This time it seems to be missing 3 panels rather than 5. And NRG Park CEO Ryan Walsh said in a statement, quote, Harrison County Sports and Convention Corporation officials are collaborating with the state, county, and city officials to assist with the recovery efforts throughout the region. The collective undertaking requires all of us to work together with a strong commitment to our community. While we assist in these efforts, we are also assessing the extent of the damages to NRG Park facilities. We look forward to seeing our neighbors at NRG Park soon as we return to normal operations, end quote. NRG Stadium is still currently being used as a shelter for those who have still yet to have their power restored in Houston.
Yeah, just to start off, you know, thoughts and prayers for those affected. Hopefully, you know, the camaraderie continues to bring everyone together. The community looks like they're being taken care of, and it looks like it's being taken care of as soon as possible. But I want to just go ahead and start talking about, you know, everything else. You know, all the water. You know, that's bad. Texans are already underwater too. If you look at their head-to-head matchup against the Cowboys, being at 2-4. I mean, the Texans look to make it 2-5 this year. You know, let's root on them for just making it 2-5. Like you said, you know, there's several panels missing, just like how the Texans receivers are going to be missing this season.
Oh God!
So I just want to end on that. So there we go.
Oh man!
Yeah.
All those power outages and internet outages had Texans going crazy with Time Warner getting hit over there in Houston as well.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't even know how would you even have an infrastructure like that where Houston gets messed up, so Austin and San Antonio gets messed up too. I don't know. Someone need to get fired.
I didn't have any issues. You know, I don't do Time Warner. Starlink. Thanks to Elon Musk.
Okay, dude. All right, dude.
But staying on football, Pro Football Hall of Famer Brett Favre seeks to revive a defamation lawsuit against fellow Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. The lawsuit was thrown out in October as federal judge in Mississippi said Sharpe used constitutionally protected speech on a sports broadcast when he criticized Favre's connections to the welfare misspending case. Favre's lawyer told U.S. Circuit of Appeals judges in New Orleans the lawsuit should be revived, saying Sharpe accused Favre, who was not being charged of any crime or theft, trying to say that the word "still" would be taken literally by listeners and not figuratively. But Shannon Sharp's attorneys argue that the remarks are clearly opinion-based when he was asked about the Mississippi welfare scandal.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, this happened, like 1,000 years ago, and Shannon left Fox because of a statement, probably. Is that what they're saying? The case was dismissed. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is an incident that came and went already. To me, Favre just threw another interception. That's what happened right there, dude.
Hell.
I mean...
Well, for those who aren't up to speed with the whole thing, Mississippi State Auditor Shad White has said that from 2016 to 2019, the Mississippi Department of Human Services spent more than $77 million from the Temporary Assistance for the Needy Families program. Among those findings, White uncovered that Favre improperly received $1.1 million in speaking fees from a nonprofit organization that spent TANF money with approval from the Department of Human Services. The money was to go towards a $5 million volleyball arena that at University of Southern Mississippi, which he attended and his daughter currently attends and plays volleyball at. Favre did pay back the $1.1 million, but White said he still owes $729,790 in interest in February during the court filing. Favre denies any wrongdoing and is not facing any charges. He is part of more than 36 people or companies being sued by the State Department of Human Services.
Well, as long as the Texans lose, it's all good.
But speaking of losing money and losing, Drake lost $300,000 after Argentina sent Canada packing in the Copa America semifinals. Drake Drake posted his ticket on IG showing he would have gotten a $2.88 million payout had Canada won, but goals from Alvarez and Messi sent Argentina to their fourth final in the last 5 cups. Argentina's X page trolled the rapper with a photo of the team with the caption, "Not Like Us," the title of a diss track by Kendrick Lamar aimed at Drake.
How you gonna bet against Messi? Come on, man.
Yeah, that
Messi
I don't know. He obviously don't watch no soccer. He was there for the cup.
Oh, Canada. Dude.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Oh, man. I'm just glad that Drake lost again.
I'm just glad that Drake lost
again. He lost a lot of money.
Oh,
hopefully that money goes somewhere good, but, I don't know, man. But I'm rooting for Argentina because my boy Messi, he got to win it all again.
Yeah, they'll be going on to face Colombia Sunday at 7 p.m. on Fox, so tune in if you can. It's going to be a good one. But let's get into Nate Diaz, as we saw his big loss back in 2019 when a physician made the ruling that Diaz couldn't continue due to a massive cut over his eye despite him actually wanting to continue. Now, 5 years later, Diaz finally got his revenge in a 10-round boxing bout against George Masvidal.
Man, I didn't like it when they did that stoppage back then, dude. Like, they should have just kept fighting. It looked like Diaz was turning the tides in that fight. We'll never know, but I was a little upset that they stopped it because Diaz is known to bleed because of his scar tissue. Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen, doesn't mean he's battered up. It's just he has bad scar tissue. It's gonna happen where he gets opened up. I didn't like that they stopped it, but I'm just glad that they were able to finally meet again. Last Saturday, there was lots of fight cards on, and the Nate Diaz and Masvidal was one of them live on Famio.
Yeah,
had a few known names. Will you say something?
Yeah, before you get there, I don't know if you saw or if you have any input on this, but after the fight, Diaz did say, quote, "I'm going to beat Jake Paul's effing A." and I'm down to fight the highest ranked boxer I can find. My main objective is to be the best fighter in the world, so I want to get back and get a UFC title. Leon Edwards, Jake Paul, and anybody effing else, you're dead. End quote.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty cool. Well, up to everybody, man.
It makes you wonder, though, with Masvidal not agreeing with the decision and stuff like that. He was saying they're 1-1 now. What if we see them in an octagon again?
Could happen. I mean, I don't know when it would happen. I think Masvidal does want a rematch as soon as possible. Yeah, they had it on a streaming called Fan Meal, which is associated with UFC. So this boxing card was actually streaming on UFC Fight Pass, which is pretty cool. The little boxing and everything.
Yeah, a little cross promoting.
Card did have a few known names, as well as up and coming prospect Kermel Moton, part of Mayweather's team. This guy is only 18 years old. A prodigy that he completely demolished a 36-year-old boxer, Nicola Buslin, and finished him in the second round by KO. His nickname's the Big Deal, and he's going to be a big problem also. He reminds me of Mike Tyson, how vicious his hooks and uppercuts are. He's definitely someone to follow. I would take a look at him. He's getting bigger, by the day. He's only 4-0. But y'all better watch out. He's already sparred against Shakur. He sparred against Devontae only when he was 14 years old. Mayweather's his mentor. I mean, this guy's going to be crazy moving forward, I think. But as we look at also the card, Daniel Jacobs, after a 2-year layoff and a tough split decision loss against John Ryder, the former WBA IBF middleweight champion, went against son of legend Shane Mosley Jr. I love this guy's style of boxing. Mosley Jr. looked like he was greatly improved himself from his last bout against Joshua Conley. Length and quickness, his in and out, his able to cover distance so quickly against Jacobs. He was giving him trouble all night. Of course, being the champion Daniel is, he wasn't going to give up. I think Mosley clearly did enough to get the decision win, and he looked great doing it. I think sky's the limit for this guy. As far as Daniel Jacobs coming out of retirement, not retirement, 2-year layoff. I think he wants to get back in the ring and show that, he's not done. And I think this might have been a little bit of ring rust, a little bit of, this and that. I think he's going to probably try to fight one more fight to see if he still got it. And, I'm all for that as well. But now we're going to just move on to the main event. I know. I don't know who saw it. Did y'all see it? I saw it.
Oh, are you talking about Shakur?
No, we're talking about Diaz and Jorge.
Oh, okay.
They met, like how Chris said it, they fought in the UFC. They're right back last Saturday in a boxing match. The fight started in an upbeat tempo with both guys with their foot on the gas. Diaz throwing flurries of combos from all directions, while Jorge focused on delivering power shots, digging blows to the body. From the first bell to the last bell, these two continued to press each other, hurt each other, and leave it all out on the ring. It was very entertaining. You could tell that they were both training serious for this fight. And at the end of the match, the stats were a little similar, with a slight edge towards Masvidal, actually. But the judges ultimately decided to give the nod to Diaz.
I think one judge tied it, right?
Yeah, it was a tie, I think, on one of them, and then the rest, they gave it to Diaz, a big outscore. In my opinion, I think Diaz won, too, just because of his output, his volume of punches, how he pressed, he didn't let up, the ring control.
Masvidal had some good hard hits, heavy hits, but Diaz just had more output, just like you said.
Yeah, these guys they were both going crazy, 100%, eat the whole time, So, with a 1-1 record, it's only a matter of time, that they settle that tiebreaker. Rematch, ring, octagon, maybe something else. Bare knuckle boxing. I don't know.
Just throwing stuff out there.
Hacky sack. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was a great card. I enjoyed it. because some of the other cards that night were like snooze Bill.
Yeah, if you're talking about Shakur, he's been a force in the boxing industry for a while now and putting on a show, but that hasn't been the case lately with, the lackluster decision victory over De Los Santos in November. Now he's coming off of that uneventful unanimous decision against another major underdog. I don't know.
I mean, I saw the fight. I saw the card. Shakur Stevenson, I don't want to hate on the guy. He's defensively sound. Good thing I had another fight on when it was on, though, but Shakur did put a clinic. He did put a clinic on this guy, even though this guy was like 12-1, a fill-in opponent. So I know not many people were expecting something to happen. Things that many people didn't think that was going to happen is that Shakur actually pressed the action. He didn't back up a lot, which, the dude's 12-1, so Shakur can obviously do that. But those who knew about the other fighters, I think Shakur needs to watch out for is William Cepeda. Dude just finished Giovanni Cabrera in the third round, and Giovanni just went the distance with Pitbull before that fight. Pitbull couldn't finish this guy, but Cepeda put this guy down in the third round. At 31-0, I think Cepeda is definitely going to get someone's attention, especially because he's in the 135 weight class. He already called out Loma on a recently interview. I think this guy should fight Shakur, in my opinion, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But, I mean, dude, this guy's a monster. He just finished this guy, and I don't know, man. Shakur should fight someone like this, man. I think.
Well, I mean, that's what he's looking for. I mean, he did say, after the fight that if you don't have a fighter who's trying to fight back and he's just trying to survive, that's what you get. He had went on to say, quote, "I would have wanted him to try a little harder so it could be a more fun night. I did everything I could to get him out of there too. I got to cut off the ring a little bit more. I'm going to go back in the gym and work on cutting off the ring even some more."
I mean, everyone knows that his end game is Gervonta. Shakur really wants that fight. He's saying that when they do match up, it's going to be like the biggest fight of all time or whatever. And, while he's being, optimistic about it, like, let's be real, it's not. But anyway, it's still going to be a good fight to watch. I'm looking, if it ever happens, it's not going to be for a while. Like, I don't think Gervonta is going to give Shakur the time of day just yet. Shakur needs to get more wins. He's only at 21-0, I think. He really hasn't.
I think he's 22-0 now. I think.
But yeah, I mean,
I could be wrong.
He hasn't fought anyone at all. I can't name any big fighter that Shakur has fought so far. I mean, can you? I don't even know. Like, this guy fights nobody's. I don't know what I think it's because the big names, they don't want to risk losing to Shakur. That might be a reason right there.
You could be right. You could be onto something. I mean, Haney is 140, but I don't think he's gonna go back down to fight Shakur either. Like, there's really no one. Shakur has to fight some seasoned vet, like someone that's like 30-5 or like 40-something-7. Someone that has a lot of fights, but is a journeyman, not really a contender for the title anymore, but he still has a lot of fights. He needs to fight someone like that. Maybe Prograis, Pedraza. I don't know. Shakur. But since we're talking about all this boxing, we do have a good matchup coming out with Gerard Enos. I know you're excited to see that one.
Boots. Yeah, he's gonna face out of Vespasian. I don't know, some Russian guy. He's I think it's a title shot. I think it's the IBF title. Ennis is the title holder right now because Crawford vacated it. He'd rather vacate it than fight Ennis. But Ennis is like, he's a masterful pop shot guy, defensively sound. Quick on the inside, quick on the outside. He knows how to get to that chin. I think it's just going to be another day in the office for Jared, but I want him to just dominate this guy. Show everyone that he's the real deal. Show everybody that he could finish people while he's the champion. Get people's attention, because a lot of people they really don't give the respect that Ennis, I think, deserves. he's very, very proud of his hometown, and he's proud that they're finally having a fight in Philly. He said there's really not that many boxers from Philly nowadays, and he wants to be, that one now to come up. But I mean, if he puts this guy away, dude, like, come on, Crawford, go fight it. Like, I don't know. I know Crawford has a matchup against Madrimov. What's up with all these, like, Russian people fighting? Like, they're all losing. Like, I don't know, man. There is that other guy that's coming up, Bivol.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's Russian. He's kicking ass. But I feel like if Ennis could just put this guy away, maybe third round, fourth round, call out a big name, make it happen. This guy
make it happen.
So he's gonna fight this weekend. I don't think there's. There's also a UFC fight. Nama Nunez versus Cortez. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump from the boxing ring to the wrestling ring as we get into some wrestling news. And just off the heels of losing her NJPW Strong Championship to Mercedes Moné at AEW's Forbidden Door, Chilean wrestler Stephanie Vacour is WWE bound. Stephanie has been setting the wrestling industry on fire recently, being triple champ as she held the CMLL Women's Championship, CMLL Tag Team Women's Straps, and the New Japan Strong Style Strong title as well. CMLL ended up stripping her of both her titles and announcing that Stephanie was leaving both promotions for personal reasons after news broke that she was going to WWE. Word is that CMLL and New Japan are both upset with her with how she handled the departure, as she canceled the planned dates with them and other promotions. Both promotions were aware that she was leaning towards WWE before she signed, so the original idea was to do business the right way and drop the titles, but things changed when she canceled her up-and-coming dates.
Yeah, I'm totally unaware of who this was, but I've been looking into it, and I'm impressed. She's in the right place. I think she's gonna flourish. So,
dude, with her, and I hope Julia debuts soon, because that's been a while since she came, and we found out she was in, what was it, WrestleMania weekend when Julia had signed, something like that. Yeah, so. With her and Julia there, it's gonna, exactly, it's gonna be amazing. But ESPN announcer and analyst Joe Tessitore is also WWE bound and will work alongside Barrett and Graves starting this summer. McAfee and Cole will remain untouched as a broadcast team. Paul Triple H Levesque stated, quote, "Whether it's a world title fight that's got the globe buzzing or a college football rivalry that's grabbed the nation's attention, Joe's voice provides that big event feel each time he is behind the microphone," end quote. So,
of course, that's a crazy signing, dude. I would never expect Joe Tessitore to be in WWE.
Me either.
That's perfect right there, man. That guy is a legend. Like, you hear that guy's name, you think of boxing, you think of this guy. Remarkable signing. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's going to bring a lot to that broadcast team, especially because Wade Barrett and Corey Graves are more color commentary rather than straight up commentary. So I'm excited to see what he brings. Tessitore or?
Yeah, has he no experience in the wrestling, right?
No, he hasn't touched wrestling, but he's always been a fan of the WWE. So I'm sure he's gonna flourish there, especially with his other play-by-plays that he's done. I'm sure he's in the right spot.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty interested to see how he does it.
And obviously, WWE has been making changes recently and implementing new elements. If it be, the drone cam or the in-ring cam that gives more of a cinematic feel when introducing the talent before the match, we might get a new camera angle. And according to Fightful Select, WWE is looking to get fans closer to the action with a ref cam, and it could be implemented soon.
Like a body cam or what?
Yeah, from the ref.
Okay. I'm down.
I remember Pride did it for a little bit a long time ago, and somebody else did it. I can't remember who else, but we'll have to see if that ends up sticking, because they always try new stuff and sometimes they don't stick. Well, anyways, we'll get into Drew McIntyre as he's inked to deal with Paradigm Talent Agency for the representation in all areas of entertainment, following the footsteps of Stratton and Punk. McIntyre will be making his feature film debut in September, playing a bounty hunter who is hunting Dave Bautista's character in the movie titled The Killer's Game.
I had no idea.
Well,
if that's the case, for Punk the whole film or what?
He's gonna end up getting screwed over by Punk when he finds Batista.
Dang. And they don't tell him about the script, right? That's messed up.
Oh man, that would be gold. But one last thing before we get into Money in the Bank and Heat Wave. Wild Women of Wrestling promotion is set to tape new episodes next month. Their weekly show will emanate from the Blasco Theater in LA in August. Taping dates are the 2nd, 3rd, 8th, 9th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th. Doors open at 4:30 Eastern, with tapings running from 5 to 10.
Okay.
Now let's get into Money in the Bank, as we saw Drew McIntyre get screwed over once again after he won the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I can't count how many times it happened. Crazy, man.
And I was surprised with, Sami Zayn defeating Braun Breaker. I was hoping to see Braun Breaker win and Ricochet come back. Unfortunately, that's not going down. It may happen later because they're not getting rid of that rivalry. Braun Breaker's still out there attacking them.
They're building it. It's a slow build, I guess. Pretty good, I guess.
But as we said, Drew McIntyre got screwed by Punk again. World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest defeated Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat match that Drew obviously attempted to cash in his Money in the Bank, and Punk of course interfered once again.
Hey, there's a lot of things that happen in that match. A lot of I think mistimings and bad calls. And
yes, Seth should have won.
Communication.
They counted the 3, and everybody's like, "What the hell is going on?" And boom, Drew McIntyre's music hit.
I don't know what happened there.
Man.
But I like how a lot of storylines are like intertwining in this heavyweight feud with Rollins and Punk, and Rollins and Damian, and Drew and Punk, and Drew and Damian, and
yeah, they're just building it up for whenever they face each other here in the future, because obviously they were planning to do Rollins and Punk, and that didn't pan out, and now the whole Punk and McIntyre thing took off, so there's a lot of seeds being planted right now.
I like it. And then Damian staying as the champ should be the way right now, especially with a lot of things going down in Judgment Day.
Yeah, I gotta say though, one of my favorite women's Money in the Bank ladder matches I've seen by far.
Probably match of the night. I don't know, man.
You didn't catch it?
No, I said it was probably the match of the night.
Oh, I was like, I thought she said I didn't catch it. I was like, oh man, Tippy Time won that one, and we figured she'd win that one. I'm excited to see who she goes after. If she goes after Bayley, or wait, is Bayley still champ? No, right?
Yeah,
wait.
she is.
Yeah, she is. So sorry.
We don't know, but yeah.
But of course, the Bloodline, of course, ended up headlining this one, and we saw, a bunch of RKOs, stunners, Cody Cutters, and all that kind of jazz. But I didn't.
Cody Rhodes. They spam it.
He ended up putting all his finishers in the game. All of them, all 4 of them.
He's just having all the buttons.
But it was surprising to see the Bloodline win. I'm excited that they won, especially since they had Jacob Fatu with them. So, I'm excited to see where this thing goes. I know, they turned on Paul Heyman. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this anymore, and I just want to.
I mean, they already called out Reigns, right? So that was pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
I think. I mean, there's one of the best storylines, if not the best right now. But I don't know, man. I like the Rio one still. That one's getting crazy, dude.
You showed up at Raw after Dom and Liv won that intergender match. So, or no, the intergender tag team match, is that what they call it? Something like that.
It was good. But for the Bloodline, that win was key. They had to win that night. I'm glad they did. And you got to see Cody Rhodes cry again.
And all the Cody Rhodes crybabies.
And then it was like, dang, this guy just cries and cries. I mean,
one thing that sent a lot of people into tears, though, was the announcing of John Cena's farewell tour in 2025.
Oh yeah, sad to see, but it's a work.
It's a work.
He ain't gonna retire.
It's a work. Oh man. Yeah, so this next WrestleMania is going to be his last WrestleMania, but his last match will take place in December of 2025.
Damn, man. He's one of the greats. I do have a lot of respect for the guy. He should be heel, though.
I loved him when he was heel back in the day, but then everybody started liking him and his raps and whatnot, and he took off for there for a second and never fell down, it seemed.
Damn, man. Hey, it was a good card. Money in the Bank. What was there anything else to have? I forget.
Just Heat Wave on Sunday, where All Ego Ethan Page ended up winning the NXT Championship against Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Sean Spears. He made NXT history, getting the championship within 6 weeks of debuting, which was the shortest amount of time between a superstar debuting and winning a title. KO did do it in 60 days, beating Sami Zayn in 2025 for the NXT TakeOver Rival event. So this is a big milestone for Ethan Page, and I'm glad to see him with a title here in NXT, and hopefully this shoots him towards the main roster eventually.
Definitely. I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm glad he's in the right place finally. AEW had no idea what to do with this guy. NXT champ.
They were throwing him everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah.
That one we saw, Petrovic and Ariana Grace win against Jane and Nyx, which was sort of uneventful match. I felt like I was excited to watch, North American champion Obafemi and Wesley go at it, in which Obafemi retained his title and Wesley ended up taking to NXT this week, kind of teasing that he was going to leave. But then MSK's music hit and the Rascals came out from the tunnel from TNA, and I popped so hard. I'm telling you, I about cried.
Dang.
But for those who don't know, the Rascals is Trey Miguel from TNA and Zachary Wentz, which many may know in NXT as Nash Carter, who tagged with Wesley before he was Wesley and after he became Wesley. So I was excited to see them come in. They said they're gonna, run through the NXT roster as MSK and I was gonna say Desmond Xavier. Wesley said no, we'll do it as the Rascals. Lola Vice unfortunately did not beat Roxanne Perez, so I call bull on that.
Yeah.
I really wanted Lola Vice to win that, man. She's a star and she's just continuing to get better, and I just see the sky is the limit for her. The tag team championship match wasn't much to talk about, with Axiom and Frazier versus Chase U. Axiom and Frazier won that one. The NXT North American Women's Champion, Kalani Jordan, ended up retaining against Sol Ruka. I really like this match, but then they went overboard with the spots and made the match seem sort of slow at times. So that was unfortunate. Excuse me.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the highlights. I mean, I liked it, but whatever.
To each his own. But Joe Henry did appear. Joe Henry appeared at the end of Heat Wave. It just showed his little turnaround face, which I pop for every single time. But he did appear in NXT this week to tag with Trick against Spears and All Ego, in which they both won. Joe Hendry got the pin on Spears. I believe it was it Spears? It might. Yeah, I think it was Spears. But Joe Hendry got that pin. It was nice to see a TNA guy go over in WWE or NXT if you want to be that, picky. But it's nice to see that TNA is getting some recognition now.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting to watch. I think they're going to be a lot more involved later on. Maybe at, the big four of the pay-per-views, they might be involved a little bit. Maybe WWE does a little bit of Slammiversary involvement. So yeah, I'm excited to see that stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I did see that PCO had tweeted out a while back that there might be another wrestler from another promotion showing up at Slammiversary, and TNA has been taking pages, I feel, out of WWE's book, because Slammiversary now has its is in 9 days and now has its own, like, kind of, I guess you could call it a fan access type deal.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
To where they're gonna hold a press conference, and the press conference will feature Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, Mike Bailey, AJ Francis, and PCO on the 18th. But before that, on the 14th, PCO and Bailey will be in Montreal for the Montreal Alliance basketball game, and they'll be promoting Slammiversary there. For the 15th, TNA will unveil the Slammiversary banner at Wellington Street. They also have a tasting of TNA Slam and Pretzel with PCO, along with a meet and greet at a local Wellington pub the same day. Tuesday and Wednesday, PCO and Bailey will have a media tour leading up to Thursday's conference. The presser is said to be hosted in English and French, with the media and public invited to attend. The first 50 fans will receive a Slammiversary collectible, and the conference will air live on TNA digital platforms. After Slammiversary, TNA will also host an Autograph Fest, where fans will have the opportunities to meet and greet about 20 TNA stars. And it seems they're taking the WWE approach when they're leading up to their show of shows.
Man, they're just growing and growing. I like it. I mean, they're doing it right there. You know what I mean?
Hey,
but,
I'll tell you what's growing and growing. Now that we're getting into the power up section of our cast, and we're talking about games, Xbox Game Pass subscription prices are growing and growing.
I'm gonna have to step out though, bro. I was glad to be here. Good to have me, but I gotta make way now, man.
All right, sounds good. You take care and enjoy that school.
Yeah, I gotta get to it, but yeah, y'all tune in or else.
I'll see you later, bro. So now, as we get into our power up section, Xbox Game Pass is going up in price, and we'll now have tiers. Game Pass Core will be $9.99 with no one-day releases. Our day one releases, excuse me. PC Game Pass comes in at $11.99 with day ones. Console Game Pass for existing subscribers is $10.99 with day one games, and that's for whoever's grandfathered in. That will continue to go on until about 2025. Game Pass Standard will be $14.99 with no day ones. And finally, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate will be $19.99 with day one releases. Changes were set to go into effect yesterday. I have yet to see if mine has been changed, but hopefully I'm grandfathered in with Game Pass Ultimate, but it did not specify that, so we'll see what happens. But Sony also uh, made contact with Pocket Pair, the developer of Power World, and they're entering a partnership announcing the establishment of Power World Entertainment, which will develop reach the IP, or develop the reach of the IP through global licensing and merchandising activities associated with the Power World game. And surely this means with this partnership that eventually we will get Power World on Sony consoles, which makes you wonder, if we do get it, will it be early access or will it be when it's complete? Because now it's still in the early access stages, and we'll have to just wait and see on that one. But Nintendo also seems to be pushing the envelope, as many perceive them to be a kid-friendly console. Nintendo posted a short video via X with the caption, #WhoIsEmio. The game seems to be a horror title from my perception, but there's really no clarification, although the game is rated M for mature, and that is something Nintendo does not do quite often. Rumors are also swirling around Bloodborne, as PlayStation Stars labeled Bloodborne as a PS5 title, but when you click on the link, it takes you to the PS4 version. Many are now hoping for a remaster release without the lock, or a remaster, or just a release without the locked 30 frames. I know they already have a hack to where you can set it to 60 frames per second rather than 30 frames that it's locked to. I did that on my jailbroken PS4 Pro, and it worked like a charm. So I would assume at least they'd put in a patch. They did put in a lot of patches for PS4 games when you transferred to PS5 to where they played in 60 frames. I would think maybe that's coming, especially with all the Bloodborne teases that have been coming recently through the years. But we'll have to wait and see. There's another rumor swirling about Nintendo Switch Online, and it could be having a GameCube controller in the works for the Switch. They released one for Smash when it was released. They had a little special Smash GameCube controller, but it was also supported on other games. And the reveal of the PCB being shared around the internet have many thinking we may get GameCube titles on Nintendo Switch Online eventually when the controller hits the market. Hopefully this is what happens. I would love to see some GameCube titles put into Nintendo Switch Online, but I wouldn't hold my breath, especially with them remastering a bunch of games like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD that's about to come out soon, and all that. And if anything, I just see it being supported with all the games that are on the Switch itself. I don't see anything special coming out of this, but hey, we could always hope. And with that is the rest of our show. We apologize that Mike had to go early, but he will be here in his entirety next week, and we hope to see you next week. I'd like to thank you all for watching and joining us, and everybody for listening. I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday tomorrow and have a wonderful weekend. Y'all stay safe out there.